Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Nell is the newest Descendant to arrive to the team with Season 3's launch, and I gotta say, man, she is so good. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys a skill crit build based around just absolutely spamming the crap out of your first and fourth abilities and dealing so much damage. It's great for every piece of content in the game, especially Axion planes. You can do all sorts of damage. You can blow up the ships that are flying in on every mission. You can take out all the bosses. This is even a really good build for Stormhanger if you guys are just trying to get really fast clears in order to grind out all of the new armor pieces. It does it all. This build is super strong, and I'm super excited to show you guys everything that this build has to offer. Now, you guys know the drill. Before we jump into the mods, if you're just looking for screenshots, go ahead and go to this timestamp right here. But without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, so since Nell is the new Descendant, I wanted to show everyone just kind of how she works. That way you understand the mod choices as we get into the actual build. So basically, the way she works is she actually plays off of using your S-Eve. Your S-Eve is the ability where you can kind of spam everything. Every character can do this, but she actually works with it. Basically, whenever you do activate it near enemies and they get scanned, they'll get these little marked targets. And then dealing damage with your first ability against those marked targets gives us stacks at the bottom. You get up to 9 stacks with this, and when you are at max stacks, you can actually activate your fourth ability, which throws a bunch of really big, like, purple spikes. They look really, really cool. It plays really nice, and they deal a ton of damage, as you guys can see right here. Absolute massive amount of damage. This is really good to take out those pesky ships that are flying around the Axion planes. You can deal a lot of damage to bosses or even colossi with this. You can also just deal damage to like groups of enemies that are like running behind you and just absolutely obliterate everything in your path. It's super, super strong. And then it kind of also plays in tandem with your one, or with your 2 and your 3. So your 2 will actually put down a big circle on the ground. This debuffs enemies. And then you can pop your 3 once you activate your 2 to pull them all into the middle, deal your damage, take out all the enemies in the middle with, you know, whatever your abilities are going to be using. And it just does so much damage. It's such a cool play style. And you can actually use her 2 to gain movement speed as well. So you can pop it down and then you can actually like pull it back to you and you gain a 25% movement speed. So she's got speed, she's got damage, she's got a lot of area coverage. She's all around just kind of a really ridiculous Descendant. As for the mods themselves, for our Transcendent mod, we're going to be using Shattered Heart. Shattered Heart reads, changes Gaze of the Abyss to an attack skill, builds up suspicion stacks using breach spikes, then fires enhanced breach spikes. So basically, this is going to be the 1 and the 4 ability. You use your first ability against marked targets to charge up those stacks, and then you fire off your fourth ability. However many stacks you have is however many of those giant purple crystal shard spike things that you're going to be throwing, and they deal an absolute crap ton of damage. The rest of the build is designed to be an ability spam build that is going to be throwing every ability you have very, very fast, and also buffing all of the critical hit rate and damage so you can deal just metric tons of damage against everything in the game. For cooldown, we're going to be rocking Nimble Fingers and MP Conversion. This gives you a ton of cooldown on your skills, just making everything just be able to be spammed really fast. As for your skill range, we're going to be using Skill Expansion just for a big bump in our skill range. This is also really important because it makes your 1 easier to hit targets because it has a bigger effective range. Makes your 2 massive on the ground, and you can just deal those debuffs to all of the enemies that are inside your 2. And then also makes your 4 hit bigger in a bigger area. So just all around, this is a fantastic option. The next mod is for survivability. I'm going to be using increased HP. But however, this is a free slot. Yeah, the HP is really nice and it kind of helps me survive. With increased HP, I'm sitting at roughly 13k HP. However, you can take this off. This is a free slot where you can kind of slot in whatever you're thinking. Another good choice is like MP Collector. So you can constantly have your MP, you know, because you're going to be spamming your abilities. So having MP to spam more abilities is always a good thing. I've also tested Decimator here, which is actually really cool. It works in tandem with your second ability. Since you are debuffing the enemies, you can actually gain a lot of skill power modifier, which is really, really good. There's a couple of different options that you can go with here. That's just kind of my personal take on it. This is a free slot, however. And then we're going to be throwing on Focus on Tech and Focus on Non-Attribute to give, you know, the boost of those different respective power increases, as well as a lot of skill cooldown kind of tacked onto the end. This just helps us kind of constantly keep up our skills so we can spam them back to back without any issues. And then for the final 4 mods, you're going to be rocking the skill critical package of skill concentration, skill insight, emergency measures, and front lines. Each one of these giving huge bumps into the respective either critical hit damage or critical hit rate. These 4 mods are used in all skill crit builds, so definitely want to throw all these on to make, you know, those really high damage numbers whenever you do actually crit. And this gives us 100% crit rate with these 4 as well. And then of course midair maneuvering, that's a given. As for the trigger module, we're going to be rocking Death by 1,000 Cuts. This one is actually really cool. Now what this does is it will affect your first and your 4th ability and basically make it to where when you use those abilities, you'll be gaining stacks. When you hit max stacks, you're going to drop these like Arche meteors on top of enemies, and the damage it deals is a certain amount times your skill power. So the higher amount of skill power you have, the more damage this is going to do. It just kind of helps you mob, and it's actually really cool to watch happen too. It plays really well with her kit, and you're spamming all of these abilities anyway, so you might as well just get a little bit extra damage on top of everything. All right, guys, here is the full build. Let me know what you guys think down below. I know a lot of content creators have been covering pretty much this exact build, and I will be messing around. I have some ideas that I kind of want to tweak a little here or there, but for the most part, this is what I've been rocking. It is super strong, super fun, and it takes on every piece of content in the game. As for the weapons, there's not really much to say here. She's a skill-based Descendant with this build, and we're going to be using the best skill-based gun in the game that has the best cores for the most speed. Obviously going to be Secret Garden. The actual ability of Secret Garden is going to play in tandem with the fact that she is a tech Descendant. All you really need to focus on is just getting this maxed out. All 4 extra copies are put into this to make your unique ability the best of its ability. You know what I'm saying? And then you just want to throw on, you know, sprint speed cores, your grappling hook cores. We've covered Secret Garden. You're not dealing damage with it, you're just holding it and running. As for your reactor, we're obviously going to be matching our tactical rifle with our Secret Garden for mounting. We're going to be using a non-attribute and tech, of course, because that is what she does damage. And then I am rocking tech skill power and then skill cooldown. Skill cooldown being extremely helpful here so we can ability spam. And then the tech skill power boost ratio just for extra damage, since our 2 like main abilities that we're rotating through are tech damage, we are dealing extra tech damage here. So just really good all around. For the external components, we're rocking the 4-piece Enlightened Mage set. This is just very good with non-attribute Descendants. This makes Valby a lot better. This makes Jaber kind of nuts, which Jaber video coming soon, by the way. But this is just, you know, very good to boost your non-attribute skill power. Just by having a 4-piece and literally just using non-attribute skills, this makes all of your skills that are non-attribute more powerful. So just super simple. And then the cores all the way across the board, we're using max HP and defense all the way down the board. Just that's the best in slot, just for general content. And then all the usual suspects as far as the sub roles, you on your MP recovery out of combat, your max HP, your max MP and MP recovery in combat, your MP recovery modifier to make the first 2 a little better with defense, and then of course your Asive display time and max shield. This one's kind of up to you, but the Asive display time is kind of nice because it keeps your Asive up a little longer, but you can honestly change this for whatever you want. As for the Arche tuning board, pretty simple. We're going up into the top right because she is a skill-based Descendant, or at least this build is skill-based, and basically we're going to get all the way up to non-attribute cohesion. Very good for non-attribute characters that are spamming skills. You just get that extra damage of your non-attribute skills. We also are picking up some skill cooldown here, some skill critical hit damage to kind of help with our damage, some more duration up to have everything just, you know, last a little longer, including our 2 ability, which keeps it on the board a little longer. We have more skill cost, more effective range, which is actually helpful to have our 1 ability actually hit those targets, and our 2 ability to last a lot longer on the actual battlefield. And then, of course, enhanced skill power just to make everything hit harder. And then for Inversion Reinforcement, I'm still kind of working on the board. I'm only level 19. However, this is what I've just found to kind of work for me. Again, this will be fully finished out whenever I hit max level, and then we can kind of experiment more. But we're rocking selective neurostimulation for the chance to get MP every 45 seconds. When the pain suppression is going to give us HP. Whenever we get under 50%, we're going to get a little bit HP back, so just more survivability. And then we're also rocking deploy resonance device. This is specific to Nell, but basically this is going to give us either weak point damage when we defeat a marked target, or skill duration when we defeat an unmarked target. So just super simple. It works only with Nell, so I figured might as well throw it on there since we're doing a Nell build. And then this is going to be a new section that I'm going to add to the videos. I'm going to probably figure out a different way to do this, but someone asked to see my actual like fashion. So I'm going to show it off, and then I'll probably just do like screenshots from here on out so you guys can see kind of what I'm rocking. But I don't know. I love fashion in this game, so I might as well show it. But we are using the new Thunderbearer skin from actually the Storm Hanger fights. We just went and grinded this out because it looks super cool. We're rocking a bunch of different of the blacks, including the Spotify black, which I haven't used up until this point. This is actually the first piece of equipment I've put it on, so I think it looks really cool. Kind of gives you like this gunmetal flat vibe. I really like it. And then we topped it all off with some purple, just to kind of give that like purple undertone under the actual like really cool part or whatever, the shiny part. And then her for the hair, I'm using the bold change. This is one of her exclusive hairs for her. Throw on some black to make it a little darker, and then the black hush makeup for the purple eyes, since there's kind of a theme of purple, and the red lipstick or whatever just kind of all rounds out, makes it look really cool. Wow, you actually skipped to the screenshots. Nah, I'm just playing. That's totally cool. I hope you enjoyed the screenshots, and if you have any questions, please drop a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. All right, guys, that is the full build. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And yes, this is a very popular build. I know all the content creators are posting about it right now, but it is what it is. There's not a ton of mods in the game, and if you're wanting to build a skill crit build, this is kind of the way to do it. I do want to mess around with a couple of other ideas that I have with some of the new external components, and maybe messing with a gun build with her, but this is just superior. She deals so much damage with this build, it's kind of insane. So stay tuned. I might do an updated guide, maybe a gun-based version of this build, or something else along the lines of that. I also have a Serena video coming out that showcases her taking on Wall Crasher. The most optimal build on the internet right now for fighting Wall Crasher is any build with Serena, so stay tuned for that. And also working on something else with Eugen. It's like a fun support build. I have that kind of cooking in the mind. So I got a lot of stuff coming. I don't have a lot of time to record, so I'm trying to pump videos out as fast as possible. So just stay tuned for it. Might be in a couple of days from now. So I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, peace out, guys.